question on your mind, a few thoughts you wanna unwind. You can ask, you can ask, you can ask, you can ask. Got a couple problems, need help solve. Baby mama or daddy, unnecessary drama now. You can ask, you can ask, you can ask. Just ask.
What's going on, you guys? It's your girl Ask Ashlee here, and we are back with Midday Juice. Appreciate you guys coming in and tuning in with me every Tuesday and Thursday. Shout out to Send Digital for sponsoring the show. Really excited to continue on this partnership with them. But today, baby, it's a little crazy because I don't play about my grandparents. I don't play about my grandparents. I don't play about my grandmother. I don't play about my grandfather. I think overall there may be like 26 grandkids, 13 great grandchildren, and I am probably that number one that does not play when it comes to my grandparents. So today we have a entry on what to do about a particular situation involving someone's grandparent. And I want to know, of course, as always, what you guys think on Instagram, what you guys think on Facebook, and then, you know, I'll go ahead and give my little tidbit and then we'll get out of here. We'll make it really quick. So those of you that are watching, please share the show, like the show, comment, let me know that you're here, kick it with me, let me know that you are around, and I will make sure that I'll speak back. Okay, so the email goes like this. Dear Ask Ashlee, I can't keep my mouth shut about this anymore. I have a family member that I know for a fact is taking advantage of my grandmother. My aunt is constantly taking large amounts of money from her. She leaves her children with my grandmother too damn much. She uses her car to run the streets chasing after no good ass men and creating more mouths to feed for the family to provide and take care of. I'm considering turning her in to the police, but y'all know we don't handle things that way in Black families. And to make matters worse, my grandmother's other children, my aunts and my uncles, are allowing this to happen because they don't want to be responsible for taking care of her. My grandmother is old. She doesn't deserve this. What do I do? So, want to know, hey, Ebony J, thanks so much for taking the time to tune in. Want to know, what would you do? Would you turn somebody in that was neglecting your grandmother? Would you wear their asses out for neglecting your grandmother or your grandfather or whoever it is that's elderly, that's important to you, that matters to you? Would this be something that you felt was necessary to go to the police or handle on your own? I will say the police. So earlier I asked this question, I posed a question, and somebody said, you know, hey, you can take them to the emergency department. And at the emergency department, the doctors and the nurses are obligated, they're mandated to go ahead and report this kind of abuse. But sometimes abuse, as we know, is not always physical. Sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional. And sometimes the abuse that's happening is abuse that we cannot see physically, right? So what would you do? I do want to make sure I make it a point to let you guys know that you do not have to be a nurse. You do not have to be a doctor to mandate and spread the word about what's going on, right? You don't have to do that. You can just be a regular person. But the problem is with the climate, right, of the police department and the Black community, like things are just off. You know, we don't really like to go to the police anyway because snitching is a thing, right? So when it comes to actually turning in another family member, it's the same scenario. Like, it's not something that we really are too keen on. Not a lot of us anyway. And I'm not saying that's right and I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that's the way that it is, especially within the Black community. So what do you do? What do you do when you know somebody is taking advantage of your grandmother? What do you do when you know that your grandmother is too old to stand up for herself or say no, or say, I can't handle this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to do this. Don't put me in this position. What do you do? Especially when it's a family member. You know what I mean? Do you have conversations with your other family members? Do you go and call a family meeting? Like, what do you do? Now, my grandmother, that's my baby. That's my heart. And yes, I am Ask Ashlee, and I should be politically correct telling you the proper steps to take. And I'm going to do that. But me, I ain't playing about my grandma. So if it comes to blows, it may come to blows, because that's just not something I do. However, I will say within my family, we don't play about those. We don't play about our grandparents, period. You know, nobody is going around trying to mistreat the elderly. But I'll say this. Elderly abuse comes just like anybody else's abuse. It's physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's exploitive. It's neglectful, it's abandonment. All of these things are considered elderly abuse, right? So what do? The first thing that you do, and I'm gonna say this to my sister that wrote in, the first thing you need to do is sit down and talk to your grandmother alone. Have a private, alone, one-on-one conversation. Grandma, what's going on? Why are you giving such and such this amount of money? How are you feeling? If you do not feel good today, why did you tell her that you could keep her kids? Why does she have your car? Is she running errands for you, or is she just ripping and running the streets? These are conversations for you to have with your grandmother. Once you get those answers, then you offer to help. The one thing that I've noticed, and this is no shade to my other family members, because, I got two sides of the family. I got about 2 or 3 sides of the family. I got my stepfather and that family. I've got my mom, and then I've got my dad. And all of these family entities that I have, we all have. Hey, Maurice, it's good to see you. All of these family entities, all my grandparents, well, not all of my grandparents are still here, but some of them are. But the one thing that I noticed about my mom's side of my family is, out of all the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, I am the only one that calls. I'm the only one that calls. I'm the only one that checks in. I'm the only one that says, hey, what you doing, on a regular basis. Let me say that. So that is the first step you need to take, having that conversation one-on-one, but then you need present. Make the time, create the time to sit with the elderly. It's even something that I could do. Hey, Cole, what's going on, babe? It's something even that I can do on a regular basis, right? I know that we are all busy. We all have our own lives, but you got to think, like, when grandparents get older, they resort back to infant-like behavior. You know what I mean? They don't want to take care of themselves the right way. They don't want to eat the way that they're supposed to be able to eat. Now, I'm lucky. My grandfather is a true OG, and he takes care of himself. He doesn't play any games. He goes walking. You know what I mean? He makes sure he eats the right foods. He's taking care of himself. My grandmother doesn't always do that. So you have to make sure that you are present in your grandparents' lives. They are elderly. They are resorting back to elderly, infant-like behavior. So you got to make sure you're present, period. And the more presence that you have, the less likely it is for someone to take advantage of your grandparent. When you are sitting there and it's like, hey, auntie such and such comes in and she's like, oh, mama, I need $500 for such and such. You are already right there to be like, hold on, grandma, wait a minute. What do you need that money for? Hold on, wait a minute. What are you going to the car for, and when you going to be back? And grandma, her hip is bad. Like, she'll need to be watching the kids. I can watch the kids for you for a couple hours, but then you got to come back. You have to start holding your family accountable, and not everybody is going to want to be involved. I think it's very unfortunate that your aunts and your uncles, and I'm assuming that your mother and your father, whoever's side of the family this is on, is also allowing this to happen. And that's unfortunate, but you want to be the one to do something about it. Be present. Be present and be there. I will say, just to give you a little bit of facts, once I got this email and I looked into some things, there is a large, I'm talking like, what's the number? $2.9 to $36.5 billion fraud, financial fraud crisis when it comes to the elderly. That is like $2.9 to $36.5 billion of elderly funds are being mistreated in the U.S. on a yearly basis. Somebody is taking their money on a yearly basis. That's a problem. That is a problem. And these kinds of things are happening because we are not present with our elderly. We are not present with our grandparents. We are not sitting there and investing the time and the efforts and the care that they have given to us. We are not giving that back. Be present. The more present you are, the less likely it is for someone to take advantage of your grandparent. And I'm being honest with you. Not everybody in the family is going to have the right intentions. Some people are so morally jacked up that it's cool for them. It's not an issue for them. You cannot allow that to go down with your grandparent. Because I will say this, upon looking into the research of this particular topic, I also found out that grandparents are 300% higher risk to die because of this mistreatment. Y'all ever heard of, what is it? People dying from a broken heart? Could you imagine You taking money from your grandmother or your mom, and it's breaking their heart because it's damn near like they're senile enough to know that it's wrong, but also like jacked up enough to know that it's not all the way, what it said it is. Like, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for them. Could you imagine? I mean, we always see these videos, right, of people that's mistreating and being physical abusive in the nursing homes to our grandparents. But could you imagine being that grandparent that's sitting right there and they're doing it in your face? People are dying from that kind of disappointment and that kind of heartbreak. So be present, have a conversation alone, and then help them get on a better path, right? If because I know, like I said, I've got grandparents on all spectrums. Some of my grandparents, they don't like dealing with the digital coin. They don't like direct deposit. They don't like, having their funds be able to transfer to this or transfer to that. Like, they don't like that kind of stuff. Talk to them about that and help them get set up on that. Direct deposits and monthly payments that are reoccurring payments that are coming out, like those are the kind of things that kind of need to go in place so that people are not being taken advantage of. And then again, be present. Go over there once a month or something like that, just to sit, not once a month to visit, once a month to sit there and say, Grandma, Grandpa, let me look at your bills. Gigi, let me look at your bills. Let me see where you are. Let me see how I can help you. Let me make sure that you are not overdrafting your account. Let me make sure that you are not frivolously spending money. Let me make sure that you have everything you need to take care of you. I'm telling you, the best thing that you can do is be present. And you can't hold nobody else responsible. Is it jacked up that nobody else wants to do it? Absolutely. But you can't worry about nobody else. If it's bothering you and that's your grandparent and you want to do what's necessary, take it on the chin and hold yourself accountable to make sure that grandma is good. Now, do you want to wear somebody out? Probably. I know I would. I'm not going to lie about that. I probably would want to wear somebody out over my grandma. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I wouldn't, because it's my grandma and that's my baby. That's my baby. I couldn't imagine a world where she wasn't here. But if you want to go about things the right way, which Ask Ashlee is going to instruct you to do, if you want to go about things the right way, you have to make sure that you are present. Make sure that you are present to sit there and walk through things with them, to help them understand. I will say the biggest way for someone to take advantage of your grandparent or somebody that matters to you, the elderly like that, is social isolation. The more they are by themselves, the more somebody can take advantage of them. The more that no one else is around to see it, the more that someone is going to make sure they do the alley-oop on their asses. So make sure that they don't have to experience social isolation. Make sure they don't have to endure that type of loneliness, so that they're so thirsty and they're so hungry for anybody's attention or anybody's time that they just let them do what they want to do. Right? You don't want somebody doing that to your grandma. I damn sure don't want nobody doing that to my grandma. Y'all got me ready to call my grandma. I call my grandma every day, though. Me and my grandma, we used to get to a point where we would talk in the morning, and it'd be like 2-3 hour calls. It'd be me, my grandmother, and my aunt. Quite naturally, since I'm a little busier, my kids are a little older, I got a lot more things going on. It's not always that easy, but I definitely make sure I talk times a week. Should probably go see her more. I can say that. And now, just hearing this story, I absolutely can. Diana says, call in early. What's up? Where you at? So, Diana, what's going on? Now, and D, me and you, we talked about this earlier. Am I ready to knock somebody out over my grandma? Absolutely. I'm absolutely. But like I said, the best way for you to make sure that nobody is taking advantage of your grandparent is, one, to be present and not allow them to go through social isolation. It's that loneliness at an old age that allows people to take advantage of them. It's that loneliness. That loneliness, I'm telling you, I mean, hell, we in our 20s and our 30s and our 40s, and we go through loneliness and we end up with crazy exes or men and women that are not good for us, or relationships that are just stupid. Like, I mean, that loneliness can definitely put you in a certain sense of despair to allow anything to go off, to allow anything to happen. Diana says that I missed the part where someone is going to open a can of whoop ass. Now, look, D, I absolutely said, and I'm not, I'm a realist. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody take advantage of my grandma, I'm probably laying the hands on them. And again, I am not instructing you all to do that. Okay, Ashlee don't want to induce violence. I'm just telling you, when it comes to my grandma, I'm not playing. And hopefully, when it comes to yours, you're not playing either. But the reality is, somebody should not be dropping off their 15 kids, with your grandma who got a bad hip and she can barely hold herself together. Nobody should be taking large amounts of their social security deposit or their social security check, the money they over to just be able to pay the bill they're in. Nobody should be doing that. And it's unfortunate that your aunt is doing that. It's even more unfortunate that your parents, whichever parent it is, and your other aunts and uncles are allowing that to happen. But hold yourself accountable, baby, and go sit with your grandma. Go sit with her and have a real conversation. Grandma, this ain't right, and this ain't right. What is it that you need, and how do we proceed moving forward? I will say this too, for the people that are watching, you may be elderly, you may be not. I don't know. If you are not elderly yet, get your in order. Okay? Order. Get it in order right now. Get you a power of attorney, get you a will, visit that will regularly. I am so fortunate that my mother is on the ball the way that she is. My mother already knows me and my sister. We already know who gets the house. We already know who gets the car. We already know where this funds are coming from to pay for the funeral. We already know where these funds are coming from to help pay for my kids to go to college, to help pay this house off, to help with these medical bills. We already know all of these things because my mom is on the ball. Nobody's taking advantage of her when she gets old. Nobody, damn sure taking advantage of her when she get old, and I'm still here. But what I'm saying is, when you have the time to do so now, get your stuff in order so nobody can take advantage of you. You have no idea what things are going to be like when you get older, the health problems that you may run into. But for real, you really should be calling and taking care of yourself anyway. Take care of yourself as best as you can. And D, you're right. Call Department of Aging too. There, it's what is it? Adult Protective Services. Just like they have Child Protective Services, they've got Adult Protective Services. So call them. Report somebody. Now, you know, in our community, we don't like to snitch, whatever the case may be. Call it whatever you want. But if you feel like you cannot be present to make sure that things are going as smoothly as they need to be, fine. Call somebody in to do it. Call somebody in to do it. But don't just let it continue to happen. And don't let it continue to happen to the point where you get so riled up that you're ready to knock somebody's head off and you lose full control. Because then guess what? When you go away, there's nobody there. There's nobody there to see what's going on. There's nobody there that's going to be able to help. If you're going to do it right. But be present and don't allow social isolation to ruin your grandparents. Don't do that. Please don't allow that to go down. Lord, please don't allow that to go down. Our grandparents are little babies. At least mine is. My grandma is my baby. She's my baby. She ain't my firstborn, but I love her like she my baby. That's my heart. I couldn't even imagine a world that exists where I'm in it and she's, you know what I mean? Where we're both, where she's no longer here. Ask Ash, boy, he just put ask Ashley. Okay. What should I do if people I know was giving cops dap while the cops were patting me down? Ooh. You need to, first off, consider the people that's around you. Say, what should I do if people I know was giving cops dap while they was patting me down? That's a slap in the face. You got the wrong people around you. Like, dismiss those folks. You got the wrong people around you. Lord Jesus. Danietta says, and choose wisely about who you give a power of attorney to. Don't choose the one niece or the raggedy son. Yeah, be very, very cautious of that too. That's a very good point, D. Be very, very cautious of that too. Make sure that as a matter of fact, talk to a real attorney if you need to. Talk to a real attorney about how those things go, and then choose a power of attorney that you absolutely trust, not the one that's available to you, one that you trust. I know for a while when me and my little sister were younger and we didn't really quite fully understand all of these things going on, attorney was not somebody that I thought was somebody she would pick. It wasn't, but it was somebody she trusted. And it was somebody she trusted to make sure that if anything happened to her while we were that young, things were going to fall in place the way that they needed to. So make sure that your power of attorney is somebody that you trust and that they understand. And let me just be very clear. It's a joke. You're going to learn about me. Good luck. Oh, okay. Don't do me like that. I'm like, damn, you need some new friends. All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to tune in anyway. I know you tried to come for me that one time, but we're going to be good friends. It's okay, baby. I ain't tripping. But I will say this one last thing, and then I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. With the power of attorney, make sure that this is somebody you trust, not over just your finances, but over your health as well. Over your health as well. Make sure make sure they are not ready to pull the plug on you if that's not what you want. Have these uncomfortable conversations at the age that you can, because once time goes by, so much time goes by, you have the ability to lose the best, the stuff that goes on up here. You do. You can lose your mind. I mean, whatever mental health issues. Sorry, my autocorrect tripping. That's okay. But whatever issues, mental health issues or physical health issues that may arise, like you just don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Get your stuff in order. Get your stuff in order. Find somebody that you trust, and make sure that when you are that old, nobody can take advantage of you. But to my sister that wrote in, which I do appreciate you writing in, and I'm sorry that what's going on with your grandmother is going on right now. I really am. But be present, and it's time to have real conversations. And get your grandma alone. I don't even care if you want to go pick your grandma up, like, Grandma, we about to go out to dinner. Sit there and have a conversation with them. Sit there and have a conversation with her, and make sure that you are on the same page with her. Make sure she's on the same page with you. And then get her the help that she needs by being there, being present, not allowing social isolation to take hold over her. Because I guarantee you, she probably got them kids around, and probably because, that's her baby. She probably she love her grandkids. But she don't want to be alone either. She don't want to be by herself. So I guarantee you some of those things are kind of coming into play. Fam said, I never seen you before. No. It was on a different post, but that's neither here nor there. Danietta said, dude was the person giving daps to the police while you were being arrested, a victim of your crime. I'm just saying. Girl, I'm glad that was a joke, because I'm like, oh, child. Like, I could not imagine my friend sitting there giving that. But he said it was a joke, so we're going to go with a joke. Anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time to kick it with me. We will be back on Thursday at 1 p.m. If you have a question or an inquiry, or you just need some advice, go ahead and email me at oneaskashley@gmail.com. Again, we are here with Send Digital every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. I appreciate y'all taking the time to tune in, Facebook and Instagram, and I will see you all on Thursday.